Hi, I'm David Axelrod, Instructional Specialist in the Economics Department at the Feliciano School of Business at Montclair State University, and this is a series of podcasts on the future of financing freedom. Introduction. All of finance is about freedom in the future. If freedom is not free, how we finance it affects its future. What follows are a set of policies that address key issues. They are intended as a structure to build upon, as well as to clarify how the various pieces fit together. This will require understanding the similarities and distinctions between economics and finance. At the core of all economics is the drive to make the most of the limited resources we have available. Indeed, there is no need to think economically in a world where what we desire can be instantaneously manifested. All that would be necessary would be to fully embrace our greatest good. And yet, to even imagine what that might be is constrained by the limits of our imaginations and self-consciousness. While what we learn about economics tends to focus on how markets work and the principles behind profit maximization and cost minimization, those are only part of a much larger picture. Ultimately, economic insights are based on what we want to experience, both who we are when experiencing ourselves and the palette of impressions upon our minds. In essence, it is our desire for freedom, either to explore new moments or to avoid pain and frustration. It is the freedom to create the future we prefer, to savor the present's pleasure and beauty, and to find meaning from memories of the past. However, before getting into specifics, we must understand the most essential concept in finance: present value. Present value is an estimate of what a future item would be worth today. The simplest example is how much a savings account with $1,000 in exactly 1 year would be valued now. If the interest rate was 4%, we can ask how much would we need to put into account now such that it would grow to $1,000 over a year. Remembering that a percentage sign means divide by 100, the interest rate can also be written as 4/100ths. So after 1 year, the account would have what was originally put in, called the principal, plus the interest earned, which equals the principal multiplied by the interest rate. From this perspective, $1,000 in 1 year has the same value as $961.54 in the present. However, the decisions and plans we make are not as simple as how much money will be in a savings account, even if that is part of our planning. When it comes to freedom, we will want to consider the quantity and quality of resources we can use, the institutions within which we live, and our affinity to the people who will be experiencing those freedoms in the future. Unlike a purely monetary transaction, the interest rate alone does not capture how much more important experiencing something now is relative to experiencing it in the future. Instead, we use the discount rate. Consider paying for a meal now, based on when you are going to eat it. Let's say it's a fancy buffet and would cost you $100 to go in and have the meal today. How much would you pay now to have the same exact meal in 1 year's time? There are likely to be a number of factors you want to account for: inflation, likelihood of the restaurant going out of business, or you're being too busy to enjoy the meal, etc. We can simplify things by assuming that prices won't change over time. In other words, you will be able to purchase it next year for $100. However, with all the other issues involved, you would likely refuse to pay $100 now for that meal. You might want a discount on the price for the fact that you are delaying enjoying the meal, as well as the possibility that you might not even have the meal at all. Understanding the discount rate is important since it informs us of our willingness to trade off future freedoms with present freedoms. From an economic perspective, we would invest some of our freedoms now. This allows us to consider economic systems and policies in a deeper way.